hi there, collective. It's me, Priscilla B. And in case you're wondering what collective means, it basically means that this is just a reading. This reading basically, what I do is I'll pick up on surrounding energies, and this applies for all signs, all astrological signs. And I just start the reading and see what story unfolds from the tarot reading. So grab a cup of coffee or tea or energy drink. I have my coffee right here. So I am going to be drinking this. It's peppermint mocha flavor. All I did was use like 2 instant coffee mini bags, miniature little bags. Put them in there, warmed up some water in the microwave, and good to go. So I am still waking up, but I'm waking up with you guys, so I'm so happy. So let's see what we got here. Alright, so up first we have the 7 of Cups. Okay, so we have already the start of an illusion. Okay, that's what the 7 of Cups is about, is illusions. And sometimes illusions are okay, if somebody's like trying to surprise us with a nice gift, or something wonderful like a surprise breakfast in bed or surprise romantic dinner, and they don't want to give us any hints or clues to what they're doing, so it'll just be like a surprise. And that's a nice illusion, right? Like nothing's going on because there's something beautiful and grand planned, right? But then there's the other kind of illusions where people appear to be our friend, or they appear to um, be someone who has been given an opportunity to be supportive of us in our lives and in our journeys, and uh, decides to flip the switch and be the opposite of a supporter. So that is not a great illusion, okay? Or feeling secure and then having the rug, pulled from under you, okay? That metaphor. Um, you know, Seeing someone as kind and loving and generous because they want something from you, and they want you to give it to them. And after the fact, they decide that they're going to, um, you know, well, really, they're not going to come forward about being dishonest, because why should they, right? But you, through your own investigating, find out that they are, not respecting you the way that you deserve to be respected. So, yeah, coming out hot and heavy here. But the 7 of Cups, when you look at each one of these martini glasses here, or cocktail glasses here, because martini's like a specific kind with the olive in it. But you see that there's different um, mixtures. There's different combinations here. You've got a green one with stars, a purple one with an orange slice of moon, another orange one over here looks like musical notes inside, another orange one with looks like another slice of orange in there, a pink one, another orange sparkly one with a unicorn. If you look closely, you can see there's different images, okay? There's some personalities, there's some people who, might leave you with like a bitter taste in their mouth, or they might leave you with a tart taste, or a sour taste, or a sweet taste, okay? I particularly like the one with the unicorn in it, and the moon and the stars. Like this is offering you a choice. This card is about choices. When you're presented with people in your life and you trust them and you believe in them, That's great. You know, that's a good feeling. Like, hello, that's a great, amazing feeling. Um, but when you are presented with people in your life who don't leave you with a good feeling, who leave you with a bad feeling, who leave you with a bitter taste in your mouth, who leave you with a sour taste, who are maybe a little bit too tart for your liking, you do not have to drink that drink. Okay, you don't have to be around that person. Okay, and yeah, and also it's like this card is coming up twice. Seven of Cups. Okay, all right, and my other deck here. This is like my divine feminine goddess deck. I really like the artist who did these. There's no eyes or mouth on the faces, but they still have a face. And I really feel like that's symbolic here because it's like you're not faceless, right? You have autonomy, you have a body, you have all the part pieces you need to be yourself, right? To claim your identity. But I think it's interesting, like to me, my interpretation of this artist's woman without eyes and a nose and a mouth is like your sense, your senses are gone. You can't see ears either. But it's like you've lost your voice. You've lost your ability to see. You've lost your ability to smell, right? Or like those are like sensory things, okay? Sensory body parts. So, and these are more cups here. And these cups are more of the traditional tarot where you have the skull, the flowers, the fire. I wish I had the traditional one to compare to. That would be a really interesting reading. But you have the castle, the snake, the rainbow. So, rainbows offer us the idea of hope. Okay, at the end of a storm is a beautiful rainbow appears in the sky and reminds us of how beautiful the world is and how the sun will still come up. So I think, and this is also giving me like some star energy too, with this woman coming out of the water and feelings and emotions erupting here, sparkly hair. It's really like you're trying to figure out, um, like more on how to express yourself, ways you can express yourself, making time and effort for that, and not really being pulled in or drawn into any particular personality or trait, characteristic person, that's like, oh, I want something from you. I want something from you. It's like, you know what? I don't have anything more to give at this point. So anything you get now is a miracle, to be honest. Um, yeah, so we got the tower coming in here, hot and heavy again. Major hot and heavy energy, this tower card. Okay, so this lightning strikes, the top is blown off, right? The crown on top of the tower is blown off. Okay, somebody's ego and pride has definitely been wounded here, okay, because they're not getting what they want. This is a very immature person or people, okay? I feel like it's more people because there's a man and a woman here. Or, well, there's two figures, but I feel like this is like both a man, both both energies here. Both anybody really, divine feminine, divine masculine energy is not here. It's this distorted mm, people are being thrown out of the castle. Okay, their pride is taking a big hit now. Okay, and you know why it is happening this way? Because they chose to create the illusion that they cared about you, and now they've thrown you into chaos, into their chaos. These are like agents of destruction, agents of chaos. Okay, they don't have agency in your home. If they want to create chaos, if they want to be rude, if they want to be disrespectful, then they're not going to be allowed in your castle. They're not going to be allowed in your energy. There's a castle in this cup too, right next to the rainbow. Okay. So if you break it down into each image individually, it's like you've got the fire, you've got creativity, you've got spark, you've got chemistry, you've got passion ignited. If you have the skull, you're dealing with death. You're dealing with the symbol of death. You're dealing with destruction. You're dealing with the body of, you know, it's no longer just your immortal soul. It's literally like, this is my physical body. Okay. Um, that you don't need to have just anybody up in your space. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then there's a snake, which again, transformation, shedding the skin, shedding the old. There's crystals, um, like three pointy crystals. Again, crystal magic. I think the energy, it's purple, so it could be amethyst, which is like energy of healing, energy of protecting oneself, especially from like addictions or addictive personalities. And then flowers, which of course, spring, summer, that beautiful time of year where, everything is in blossom and growing again and it's warm weather. There's still like, holiday plants as well. Like there's poinsettias or like a Christmas plant, holiday flower. But yeah, I mean, it's really hard to tell why, you like for me anyways, I feel like when you're around these certain people that keep projecting these very like misleading illusions around you that lead to negativity, that lead to more chaos. Okay, they're like chaos magnets. They just want to be in chaos. Okay, um, you do not have to participate in the chaos. Um, so for that reason alone, okay, we have letting go. Okay, letting go, trusting yourself again. And look, you have like the energy vampires behind her. You have like the hooded, creepy Death Eaters, in the background that are like trying to lure her back in. She's saying, no, I'm letting go now. Okay. And there's like the ancient like rune symbol. This is a very ancient, like almost like I feel like Celtic tribal symbol on this stone here. Okay. So she's holding on to something very ancient and wise within her. And she's not going toward these destructive, shadowy creatures anymore. Okay. Um, Obviously, they're not going to like that. Obviously, they're not going to like losing control, losing power over you. Okay. But too bad. So sad. Move on. Okay. I feel like they're even just in the last final days before, Thanksgiving. I feel like these people are like, one more chance, one more shot at taking control of her or him or they, and it's like, whoa, bro, back off. And you can say what you need to say in the moment to protect yourself. Don't feel bad about that. Yeah, I know you want that moment where you're like, you know what? I actually have something to say here, and y'all are gonna listen because you all are rude AF. I know you want that moment, and I know you want it to be almost like you do want it to be public, but not public because you know that, like, to you it would be great, but to them it would be like, whatever. But so yeah, so I know to them it wouldn't hit as hard, right? So for your sake, write it down, journal it out, do create like a podcast or something, like I do a tarot card reading. I don't know. Like, it's gonna be okay though, because I feel like we have this 9 of Cups coming in and this Seven of Wands coming in, which is actually like a really great reminder of your worth and your value and how you hold yourself in high esteem. Okay, the Nine of Cups really tells the querent, the reader, the spiritual person on their journey, their quest, that you are important and you are valued. And you already know this about yourself. This woman is obviously the queen here of this army. You can tell by the tent behind her. Let's analyze this for a second. And the dolphin on the flag behind her. Um, you know, my husband made a comment the other day, like, I was talking to him about getting curtains, and he said, "Oh, you're not gonna go get like shower curtains, right, with dolphins on them and put them up on the windows?" I'm like, did I just step into an alternate reality where my husband thinks I'm like deranged and I put use shower curtains as regular normal curtains? Because I've never once done that in my entire life, in my entire relationship with him. Like, and he has never even attempted to even design a home or a space or put up curtains or any of that type of stuff. So I'm just like so super confused right now. But now after seeing this card, I'm like, you know what, maybe I should put up a shower curtain with dolphins. Like, maybe I should. No, but it's pretty funny though, because it's like this woman this is her like sigil, the dolphin. Okay, and the dolphin is a very smart creature. Okay, and it dwells in the water, it dwells in the land of emotions and feelings, the vast ocean space that covers the planet in whatever percentage it covers. Who cares? But the point is that there's a lot of it, and you have a lot of feelings, and you can stand within your power. And I feel like spiritually, what's happening to you now is that you're drawing on this divine energy where you're starting to see how your autonomy matters. You can see this woman is just like, basically naked except for her robe, and she doesn't care. It's like, this is like, I'm a queen here, I can do what I want, and this is my cup, and these are my cups, and I know they're filled, and I know I'm supported, and yeah, pretty much. And I feel like, for a lot of you, you're dealing with some energy where someone is trying to convince you that you are like one in a million. Okay, you're not one in a million. Okay, yeah, you want to get down to numbers, and you want to evaluate a connection or a relationship by numbers. That is completely and totally insane. Okay, I don't care. It is like, when you fall in love with someone, or when you feel connected to someone on a much deeper emotional spiritual level, and you want to form a connection with them, soulmate connection. Let's go with soulmate connection. Okay, because I feel like I'm going into that. You don't want to feel like one in a million. That is not going to get you to want to be with someone. I don't know what these guys think, because I know about these guys, all right? And I don't know what they think, okay? When they think they can make you just another number in their phone, just another picture in their secret folders. They're not a secret. Everyone knows you have them. We women know you have them. And we women think it makes you look less attractive to us. It makes you look ugly. It makes you look stupid. And honestly, like, you should practice, like, before you start dating a new woman and saying you want a relationship with her or saying you want to be with her, you should practice, like, completely getting rid of all that garbage on your phone, and actually, like, go 2 solid months without doing that, without downloading all that crap on your phone, because you don't actually need to download it either. Like, why do you want proof in your phone that you're a dirtbag? I don't understand. So that you don't form a healthy connection with a woman, like you don't fall in love, so you protect yourself. I mean, you're scared, you're a coward, you're a loser. So that's my opinion. That's my take on that, because I'm pretty sure there's other women in the world who've experienced, you know, giving yourself to a man and trusting him and believing your connection is real. And of course, he tells you all the things. Of course, there are other men who are going to be straight up with you and be like, you know, I'm not going to be one of those guys ever, but you can still sleep with me. And you're going to be like, wow, tempting. Thanks, but no thanks. And, that brings us into, this Six of Wands, okay? So this is, you taking a stand at what you believe in and not backing down from it, okay? And I feel like there is a lot of people twisting and manipulating and controlling, um, everything, right? Because that's what people do. That's the illusion they give off. They give the illusion off that they're, supportive of you so that it benefits them. And then when they have the opportunity to stab you in the back, they take it because that's who they've been all along. Okay, so that brings us to the present. I love it. So maybe this was like all the past stuff that was happening, right? So let's take a look here at the present. Journey into the garden to escape the two eternities, the past and the future. Ooh, we're going on a journey. We're going on a journey. Okay, let's do it. Alrighty. So we have here the Queen of Swords. Love it. Love her. Okay. She is really what needs to be here right now, is this Queen of Swords. She's powerful. She's wise. She's intuitive. But what I love best about the Queen of Swords is that... Mama. All right. So the Queen of Swords, again, I like this card a lot because she's one of my favorite queens in the deck, because she is wise and powerful, and I already said that, but yeah, I mean, it's like you keep pointing out what is wrong with these illusionists, with these dynamics that are manipulative. I feel like the illusion card is alluding to manipulation, because manipulation is a form of illusion. Like a magician would, sleight of hand with a deck of cards, so it makes it look like it never saw you put the exact card in the deck and then shuffled it around a very specific way so that it would hold on to your card, okay? And not to give any, magicians a run for their money here, but that is kind of essentially a trick, an illusion. Okay, it's a fun, playful form of manipulation. Like manipulation is usually negative, right? It's usually not a good thing. Leads to toxic negativity, okay? Where people get hurt and chaos ensues. So I think that the Queen of Swords is pointing out to you, I did it. I lightning bolted that tower for you, right? I took my sword and I was just like, nah, we're good here, right? So yeah, it's because she's pointing out that there's manipulation here. There are people who are using emotions, guilt tripping, avoidance, gaslighting is another favorite. I really love it, and I'm being sarcastic here. I don't know if you can tell by the tone of my voice, but I love when a man, especially a white man who comes from a privileged life, tries to use the term gaslighting. That is, I've never seen more like humor, more irony in all my life. I feel like it's the universe's way of saying, look how stupid this person is. Now you don't have to feel so bad when you don't give in to their toxic tendencies, because they are literally thinking in their mind that they are so entitled and so privileged to using that term, when it's really like this term was invented because of basically white misogynistic men. Like, honestly, like, I mean, we can look back in the records of history, but I'm pretty sure it's written down there somewhere. If not, it needs to be. Okay? So, yeah. Um, anyway, so moving on. Okay, we're in the secret garden, we're in the sacred space here, and we're not worrying about the past anymore, because the Queen of Swords is really into our like subconscious, into our dream realm here. She's presently here telling us that you um you don't need to worry about these manipulators anymore, okay? Because you have the power within you to cut through the BS, know and sense out when someone is lying, okay? I love when a liar calls a non-liar a liar. It's like another one of those jokes, and usually it's mostly, again, white males that are like heterosexual. Like, I mean, it really is though. Like, okay, and the same thing with the gaslighting too. I needed to like emphasize their straight part, okay, but it's true. Sad but true. Sad but true. Okay. Yeah. Oh my God. No way. The Queen of Swords came out again. Okay. This time in my pink deck. Okay. So I have like a pink deck. So yeah. So this is like you are really starting to see how you can come out of the shadows, because this Queen of Swords is working through the shadows, through your subconscious. She's showing up in your dreams. Okay. It's an energy of like, look at how these people are viewing. Look at how these people are viewing you and your choices and your life, and seeing how it's all playing out, because you're not really you're not really bullshitting anymore. You're not really like, I feel like you're not really taking the you're taking the high road, I think, here. And I don't mean to say like you've lied or bullshitted something as like a form of like, because you wanted to hurt anybody, which is what these manipulators are doing. I feel like you're shifting into like, you sometimes need to protect your space and your boundaries. And I don't think you're lying about it. I think these other people are trying to twist it to a way where you always look like you're lying, or you always look like you're the villain. I feel like the Queen of Swords gets that bad rep sometimes for being a villain, because she's no longer putting up with the bullshit. And then everyone's like, oh yeah, well, you bullshitted before, haven't you? And you're like, what the hell just happened? Like, what is going on here? We're like in the present moment right now. Like, I think they're really trying to like change your story, like change your vision, your dreams, your voice. They're really trying. And that's like the scary part, okay? That's like the whoa, what is happening here part. But you have to understand that like, you consciously here and unconsciously here, I feel like, are putting everything to the test. You're putting up your sword and you're fighting, and you're saying, you know what, I've been resting for a while now. I've been asleep for a while now. I've been like figuring things out for a while now, observing. I feel like the Queen of Swords is a very good at observing and then planning attack. Like, she's like, okay, you made me get out of retirement for this? Wait, what? Okay. So take the high road. Maintain strong boundaries while being gracious. A difficult person or situation in your life requires your dispassionate detachment. Taking the high road might be the kindest option for yourself. Avoid unnecessary drama. Don't tolerate disrespectful or mean-spirited behavior, yet show others the grace you'd expect. Connect with your higher values, speaking and acting from that higher wisdom. We have the grace card. okay, taking the high road here. Okay, you are taking the high road, but everyone just, I feel like right now, I'm getting the sense that you are like, why is everyone putting me on a low road? Why is everyone, that's not even a thing. Like, why is everyone putting me in this like low sub-level, subservient place? And really, we're going to find out why they're trying to do this. Okay. Oh, we've got the Nine of Wands. Interesting. Grounding and being well grounded provides a feeling of security. Okay. Okay. So I feel like they're trying to use your spirituality against you, if that makes sense. Like, you are a very grounded person. You are like, this is what's practical, this is what needs to happen. But look at this Nine of Wands. Okay, this man and woman are kissing, and the child is jealous or mad, right? That, daddy's kissing this woman, or mommy's kissing this man, or she's not getting any attention, or there's a story behind this. I feel like one of these people are her parent, and the other one is someone her parent is dating. Okay, and she's not getting as much attention anymore. So it's attention driven. Now, a child, obviously children love attention. They always need attention, okay? Until they feel grounded and secure, okay? So I think that that's good that the spiritual card came out with this, very literal physical world 3D dimensional card. Okay, look at things from a spiritual perspective in this situation. Okay, the inner child needs just as much as attention, okay, as anyone, right? But this man and woman are adults, and they're kissing. They're, in that stage in their life where they're falling in love. Maybe the father passed away or isn't in the picture anymore, and the mom is, been given this romantic opportunity. This is just a story that I'm picking up on. So I don't know if this actually applies to you, but I feel like a lot of you can get the sense that when something changes in your life, you don't feel grounded anymore. You feel uprooted. And I think that you're trying to stay present, and you're trying to stay in the moment, but sometimes things change, and you're not used to that change. Now, I think when something naturally unfolds, and I think that, when you experience energy shifts that feel safe and feel protected and feel loving and warm and generous and kind, then you're not going to feel like you're left out, or you're not going to feel like you're not being loved as much, or you're not getting as much attention. But you have to remember that, like, children, or even adults who act like children still and don't act like adults, they will seek attention, and they will drive it through an emotional basis, because that is really like the most like instinctual reaction, I feel like. So I think that maybe you're trying to work on a relationship with someone romantic, but you're also not getting the attention that you need to feel safe and secure, because you're not, like, this is something you're not going to be included in. You're not going to be included in mommy's romantic journey, right? You're seeing the different shifts in relationships. Like, you're the child, and your parents' responsibility to you is to make sure you're clothed and fed and shelter. And if that derails in any way, now mommy's attention is on a man in a romantic way, then you're feeling like, oh no, is what my security, is that jeopardized? Is my feelings of stability jeopardized now? So there's a little bit of like, that question. And also I feel like if your partner isn't isn't working towards those goals of making you feel safe and protected, and keeps jeopardizing, the basics of survival, shelter, food, clothing, then you start to feel like you're not getting the protection that you need, right? Especially when there's like an imbalance happening, okay? So there's a lot going on there with that, okay? Temperance, okay? Um, yeah, temperance is going to be needed here because I feel like we're transitioning here. We're moving out of that present stage now, and we have to take a little bit of like a bird flying out of the cup here. We have to take a little bit of a chance here, kind of spread our wings a little bit here, and really start tuning into our feelings and our emotions again, and coming into a place where we can start to see the deeper levels and the deeper layers of what's happening, okay? Because temperance is really like the dove of peace, a bird of peace, and then you have, you know, um, your guardian angel just, there to protect you. It's going to be good to have like this sort of energy that feels protective and feels safe, guarding you, protecting you, like that's deeper than just the literal, okay, energies. Because I feel like those literal energies, those literal things that once kept you feeling safe and protected are now starting to just disappear, okay? They're no longer quite there anymore. So there's definitely something happening here with that. Like, that's why the little girl is mad because, she is not, spending time with mommy and daddy, right? They're preoccupied, okay? I'm married, so if I go out on a date with my husband, you know, right now, like my 5-year-old, my 10-year-old, like they are, they know mommy and daddy are probably coming back, right? Like, that's what's happened before, so that's probably what's going to happen again. And there's like this kind of like this like force field or this energy of like everything's going to be okay. And I leave them with someone that they can trust to keep them safe ish. I don't know, like I don't have like an expert nanny or anything like that, but I do have my mother-in-law, so she can watch them, right, for a little bit, and a couple hours, she's okay. But she has some health problems, so. But anyways, so yeah, like they're okay, but they're still, my 2-year-old is still like, she's kind of transitioning out of that stage now, but before she would get very, very emotional, very, very upset if mommy was leaving. So, that is a very like, that just is literally like almost like the perfect representation of energy shifting. I represent and give off a certain energy around my kids. That's what they have learned to grow and understand and feel safe and secure around. If I leave, then they don't feel that energy anymore, that presence that's there anymore. So there's different things like that. And I feel like, also mommy and daddy going to the movies or going out to dinner, my kids know that that's like a special thing and it doesn't happen all the time. So they can be a little bit jealous that they're not going out to see a movie because they love going to the movies. They love going out to eat. So they know that those things are fun and different and change, and they like those things. So this little girl being mad that, mommy and daddy, or maybe just one parent is out, it's a little bit, like, oh, I'm being left out, So, and I feel like you could also feel a little bit of like you're being rejected or a little bit of you being left out. If you're not like, you know, if you're still kind of experiencing a little bit of that, like why am I not being included in something? This is this is like very specific though to, I feel like, a parent, or parents that have a child that, you worry about them, but it's going to be okay. They're going to be okay. And I feel like overall, this energy really speaks to the fact that we all deserve to have happiness and love, and test out that connection or that theory that we can fall in love, or, be with someone, or they can be with us. And sometimes it happens naturally. Sometimes it's like, the show Love is Blind, or, where it's like, this is like an experiment, right? So there's different ways of looking at it. But moving into temperance, okay, so moving into temperance, we take, we take flight here. We take a step forward, and we move into this energy where, we need to always know that we're safe and we're protected, and our guardian angels are watching out for us and looking out for us. Okay. This is also a card of telling us that our emotions, while constantly, in flux, you have your water, the cup pouring water into the water. So you're kind of like giving your emotions into more emotions, and you're pouring into more things and more feelings and all of it. But you also need to find peace, and have the freedom to, fly, or, explore, or go on an adventure, or just, be that like uncaged bird that can just, feel some sense of relief and freedom, and not constantly pouring into others and giving yourself and your energy to others. Okay. And that's going to be important here, because we're moving into now the villain. You can always rewrite the story, and a long time. Think long term as you are building something to last, gradual unfolding to future. Yeah, so we're moving into your future, and your villain, the villain era, right? It's like it seems like everyone wants to paint you as a villain. It seems like everyone is out to get you. It seems like nothing you do is right. Um, that's like the universe, that's source, that's, you're really like seeing how, um, we're all our own like main characters in our own stories, and we're all individuals on our own individual paths. And sometimes we're walking alongside other people, and they take one look at us, and they're like, that's the villain in my story. That's, the person who's not gonna like get me, or I'm not going to get along with them. And every action after that is just proof that they're unwilling to even get to know the real you, or they're unwilling to be friendly towards you because you pose a threat to them in some way, or you remind them of something from their past that they never dealt with, or you point out that like we all have flaws, and we're all imperfect humans, but we still can try to get along with each other and maintain some sense of, the word, peace and harmony, but they are like someone who's totally like anti that. Okay. Which to you, that honestly screams villain. But to them, it's like, whatever. It's like, they have to be like the princess in the storybook, and they have to have like the big bad witch. They always have to cast those characters, okay, in their story. And, great, good for them, but you can always rewrite the story. Okay. And you have a woman kneeling at the edge of the beach here, and there's a shell, and there's music and water, and the rock, it looks like she's about to crush the shell, right? So I feel like for you, um, shells offer that sort of feeling of protection. Okay. And yeah, that's a beautiful conch shell. I'm sure it would look nice on, somebody's shelf or something like that, or whatever. And you listen to the conch shell, and you can hear like the ocean, I don't know if you've ever done that, but they say you can do that. And then, um, it's supposed to be making a beautiful sound, right? I also feel like for you, like a thing, a thing, like a thing, an energy that you felt was protective before is no longer protective. You're no longer being protected by that energy, okay, or that source of power. And I think that your song is maybe, or your type of music that you like, the genre of music you like, the style you like, is different than what was being played before. I think the songs of the past are really representation of like songs you no longer want to listen to, music you no longer want to hear. Like there could have been a song that you listened to, that was played at your wedding, right? And then you get divorced, and now you listen to that song, and you're like, wow, I hate this song. Like you don't actually hate the song, there's still some part of you that's like, that was a really good song. But it's like you don't want to listen to it anymore because it reminds you of what you had in your past that was so beautiful and felt so magical and like could never be harmed and never be destroyed. And yet now you're divorced. So obviously there was some destruction involved. Okay. So it's kind of a reminder of like what you had versus what you don't have anymore, and that feeling of this song made me feel secure, it made me feel safe, it made me feel loved, it made me feel happy. It was a song for celebration of love, and now that's, it's just a song now. You know what I'm saying? So it's just words now. There's no meaning or depth behind it. That feeling is gone. So I think you're destroying that. I don't think you're like actively like seeking out ways to like seek and destroy like some people, but you are noticing that you no longer want to be a part of that energy anymore, that feeling anymore, because it's just draining on you. And a long time, thinking long term, as you are building something to last, gradual unfolding future, here stands a figure in front of these great pyramids, these like portals to the future and different realities, different universes, different complex realities, okay? And it's coming, it's gradual. January is really soon, that it's approaching the end of the year. It is really like the end of the year, and then it'll be January, and then it'll be a brand new year and a brand new beginning. And it's symbolic because you really have been building something here, okay? But you had to destroy that tower first in the beginning. I don't know if you remember it, but in the beginning, you were, lightning bolt to that tower there. Like, like, I'm not putting up with this anymore. And you were like, I'm done. And now you started to build something since then. You have started to build something new. So we're going to take a look at that. Okay, yeah, we got justice. Yeah, you're finally getting justice here. You've got the wedding flowers, the flowers for the wedding, and then the top hat, and there's a white dress like figure with angel wings behind her, and now she's in all red. Yeah, I feel like you left the wedding dress behind and you're now all in red. So, you've gone through the purification, you've gone through the transformation. You are taking a giant, step forward, leap forward. With justice here, it's really all about you. Like, I love how the symbols of marriage are like in the scales, right? And they're balanced, right? Obviously, we all wish for a perfect, balanced, harmonious relationship. Like, we all wish for everyone to treat each other with respect, but we know that that's not reality. Okay, your new reality is being self-aware to understand. And I love how she's blindfolded too. You don't even need to actually see, right, the unfairness, the injustice happening. You can sense it, you're aware of it, it's an energy. And that's what I want to point out to you, is like, that's what people constantly are in conflict about. It's like you walk into a room and you can just sense that everything is off, right? From the moment you walk in, there's somebody over there that's it, like has like just a shadow of dark aura, darkness, negativity, energy wrapped in them that they're not dealing with. You have another person over there that's like completely all over the place and isn't really like functioning normally, and you have another person, and it's like you're walking into a giant like circus of chaos, and you step out of it, you step away from it, you step outside it. You're no longer the woman in white anymore. Like, you already have your guardian angels protecting you. You already know that you showed up where you needed to show up and be that safe haven, that beautiful, sensitive, nurturing type of quality that you embodied, that I feel like you really achieved that. And that's why now it's like you're like, well, I did that, but now I need to step back into my own again and put on the red dress, right? And just step away from all of it, because I feel like the scales are balanced. Like, whatever this person did to me, whatever they say I did to them, it doesn't matter anymore. Like, what matters is that I'm stepping away from it all, because you really can't justify someone who is constantly like making poor decisions. You can't really justify their actions and say they're doing good when all they're doing is bad. You can't, like, just, that's not how reality works. Okay, if someone is constantly making poor decisions, and this really seems to be around marriage, then how are you going to justify their actions, right? Like, I feel like you can come up with 1,000,001 excuses for them because you love them and you want them to be protected and you want them to feel safe and secure. But at some point, they don't want to feel safe and secure anymore. At some point, they do want to see where the road to destruction and negativity and chaos takes them. And that's their choice, and that's their road to take, and that's their burden to bear, because that doesn't seem fun or wise at all, but that's their choice. So I think that the woman in red here, because of justice coming out so strongly here, I feel like she's saying, you know what, I did the wife job. I played the role. I played the part. I supported my loving spouse, and I saw them destroy themselves over and over and over again, destruction over and over and over again. And I still showed up for them. And now it's your time to show up for yourself. Okay. Because that red dress, that isn't a dress you put on when you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to keep going on with this BS for the rest of my life. No, this is something you put on as like an armor or a cloak of protection, a very like symbolic symbol of like, I'm done with the BS. Okay. So, yeah, so moving forward, we've got a couple cards here, the King of Cups and the Fates. Okay. So the Fates, okay, these like three sisters here, past, present, and future. And it's very white, red, and black. You are now, I feel like, in your like red stage, or you're wearing the red dress. You're very like, this is fashion forward. Like, you're very in the present moment here. And I think that the King of Cups is that emotional, masculine energy. There's like a crescent moon for a face. I think it's very symbolic to the fact that you're like, your emotions matter, your feelings matter. And maybe you're taking a more assertive role in that, an assertive stance in that. And you're no longer allowing someone else to dictate how you feel or what you're supposed to feel or how you're supposed to act or what you're supposed to say. You've totally breaking free of that manipulation and those illusions. And yeah, it's going to upset people. And yeah, it's going to create this tension, because before, what was happening is that you were just agreeing to everything for the sake of keeping the peace. But really, what you ended up doing was agreeing to everything in place of your peace, if that makes sense. So I think right now what you need to do is just, walk away from the chaos, or walk away from whatever toxic relationship you were in, walk away from whatever manipulative personalities want to control your happiness, and go in the direction of finding something that's actually going to last, something that's actually real, something where you're not waking up every day and this person is like ending things every day with you, and it's just nuking, like nuclear bombing everything you've worked hard on every day. Like, that is not the true definition of a person that is reliable or respectful or loving or caring. This is someone who is constantly undermining you and your authority over your own life. Okay? So, yeah, so that being said, we've got the wildflower: live an uncontrolled life, free to grow anywhere and bound by nothing. Bound by nothing. Okay, and then we have create. So for those creative types out there, those artists, pick up your paintbrushes, start writing, start singing, start dancing, start painting, start molding and crafting and building everything that you want for yourself in your life. This is where your energy resides. This is where your life is going to feel like reborn. You've got the egg and the snake. That is the literal symbol of rebirth, death, transformation, rebirth, grow, learn, expand, create. And the Ace of Cups, the dove returns. Okay? Once the dove has flown out of Temperance's cup here, it returns. So once you've flown free and you've explored and you've gone on your adventures and, you've experienced happiness and love and all the goodness and all the wonders and joys, you can still come back. You can still come back. I've seen this happen so many times where I poured so much energy and love and goodness and nurturing and happiness and positivity into the stream, right, of consciousness, into someone's stream of awareness, into someone's life. Okay. And imagine this is like, someone's pond, right? That's their life. It's their consciousness. It's their soul, right? And I poured so much into it, and it left me empty, because of course the cup is going to get empty after a while. Yeah, it seems like it's never going to stop, right? It's never going to stop running, but eventually it will. Eventually the angel's cup, eventually it's going to be empty, and the angel is going to have to like send the dove off to find some new stuff, some new consciousness, some new energy, right? It's gonna have to take a little break and send one of its little messengers out there, right? So if you identify more with the metaphor of the dove, that's a symbol right there that you need to like fly the nest, fly the coop. Like, you need to be like, I gotta get out of here. I cannot be around this energy anymore, right? I'm feeling empty, I'm feeling depleted, I need something. And you go and you fly and you find it. Look, the dove flies back. It's a brand new day. It's a brand new year, month, life. It's all new. And it comes back with this little like, um, it looks like one of those like little pieces of like cracker or something, you know, that you take if you're Catholic and you put on your tongue. The body of Christ, right? The blood of Christ, body of Christ. It reminds me of that. There's the lotus flowers growing out of the water here, you know. Again, it's like out of by by putting some water in here, by pouring yourself into something, look what blossoms, right? So many beautiful lotus flowers, right? All right. And you're going back, okay? You're feeling like everything is making sense again, okay? And you're feeling your cup is just running over, running, flowing with water, flowing with life, flowing with energy, flowing with consciousness again, flowing with messages again. I really want to know like what they call that little like cracker or piece of cookie. I'm thinking of cookies because it's Christmas, it's Thanksgiving. Like I'm thinking this little dove with the cookies. But yeah, it's like I don't know. Let me look. I'm gonna look it up. All right. So this is if I didn't say this before, but this is the Ace of Cups. Okay, it's one of like the highest major important cards in the deck. It's not a major arcana card, but it's definitely majorly important. Okay, anytime you see an ace in a reading, it signifies a great, beautiful message for you. And that being said, okay, I looked it up and it says in the Ace of Cups tarot card, the dove is depicted descending into the cup, symbolizing the arrival of love and peace. The dove represents peace and love, embodying the embodiment of peace and love that will take over the material world. This card signifies emotional and spiritual fulfillment, the arrival of opportunities, and uncontrollable happiness. The dove's presence also connects to the divine realm, indicating a period of renewal and positive influences. Okay? So once you leave Temperance's cup, it's because Temperance is saying it is your time to go find your peace. It is your time to go find love. I've got this. Okay. I can keep, putting consciousness into here. I can put emotions into here. I can keep, this is covered. Okay. But you go now and you fly free, my friend. Okay. And then when you come back, oh, it's going to be peace and love. It's going to be emotionally, spiritual fulfillment, opportunities, uncontrollable happiness. It's going to be all the good things. Okay. And the best way to get there is by separating yourself from manipulative people, is by separating yourself from a toxic relationship. It's by really truly being your beautiful, creative, loving self again and letting go of those negative, toxic energies, okay? And people and places and things. So it's a lot, it can seem like a lot, but I think that once you just go out and explore and see and test new things and try new things, you're going to start to really feel more fulfilled in your life, because what you've been used to for so long obviously clearly isn't working. Being around emotionally manipulative people isn't working. So you have to separate yourself. So that is my message for you for the holidays. Happy Thanksgiving. Love and light up to you all. And feel free to check out some of my other channels. Priscilla B Tastes, where I just post videos of me tasting food. Hot to Watch. I have like 2 videos on there. That channel is a work in progress. Hopefully I can do something with that soon. And Priscilla B Fashion. So I post videos about like fashion that I like and different kind of fashion stuff, topics. So yeah, and also check out your playlists for your personal sides. I did just wrap up soulmate readings. Hopefully dream readings will be coming soon. Maybe maybe in a little bit. But yeah, anyways, love and light always. Thank you all so much for watching. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, please. Okay, bye.